Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video I'm going to talk about the best Android smartphones according to me for 2013. It has been an exciting year. We have seen a lot of Android phones, and here are my top 5 selections, and these are not based on specs or the number of units these phones have sold, but these are based on my personal experience with these phones. And the criteria was that the phone's end user experience should be very good. It should be a lag-free phone and it should perform well in day-to-day activities. And so I'll just get with it, and there's nothing like one to a top one or the fifth. I'll just talk about them based on the pricing. We'll go from the highest pricing to the lowest one. And the first one that I have is the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, and this is an excellent Android phone, and it sports a huge screen. That's a 5.7-inch screen. Also, it has the improved S Pen features, and it performed actually very well. This was surprisingly one of the smartphones from Samsung that was particularly lag-free, and it performed very well. In India, we are getting the Exynos version. The only con is that the GPU on that is not as powerful as the international version. If you get this Note 3 internationally, you'll get the Snapdragon version, which has the much more powerful GPU. That's the Adreno 330 GPU. So Note 3 is a very powerful phone, and that gets a vote from me. And the next phone that I have is the LG G2. This was also a fabulous phone. It had great battery life. The performance was blazingly fast because it runs on the Snapdragon 800 chipset. Overall, it's an excellent phone. The only cons that I've noticed with the LG G2, and again, this might be a personal experience, is the UI. The UI is a little bit cartoony, and also the back is actually too much plasticky. Again, it brings some innovative things like you have the buttons for the volume rocker and the on-off button at the back, which is kind of a departure. Some of you might like it, some of you might not like it. I got used to these backside buttons within 3-4 days, and also like the feature of that knock on. You can just wake the phone by just double tapping on the screen. So LG G2 is the second phone that I have. And the third phone is by HTC, and that's the HTCOne. It's a very popular phone, and the striking thing about HTCOne is that it has to be the best looking Android phone as of now. It's almost been about 7-8 months since it's been launched, but still it's the best looking Android phone. The build quality is amazing. As of now, the HTCOne specs don't look that stellar. It's running on the Snapdragon 600 chipset. But if you are looking for the HTCOne, I would suggest that wait for some time, because in early 2014, HTC is supposed to launch the successor to the HTCOne and will have much updated specs. And for the fourth phone that I have in the list is this LG Nexus 5 by Google, and it packs in a lot for the price. If you are in US, you get it at an incredible price. The base model, that is 16 GB, comes at just $350. In India, yes, it's a little bit expensive. You get it around for $29,000. But overall, this phone performed brilliantly, and it's a very fast phone. And it has to be one of the smoothest Android phones that I've used. The UI is buttery smooth. Also, in terms of gaming, etc., it performs very well because it's powered by, again, the Snapdragon 800 chipset. That's a quad-core processor, and it has the Adreno 330 GPU. So this Nexus 5 is fourth on my list. Now coming to the fifth phone, this was a bit of a surprise, and this came in very late, and that's the Moto G. And for the price to performance ratio, the Moto G is an excellent phone. I've also made some other videos on the Moto G. It's a little bit compact. It has a 4.5-inch screen, but the screen quality is very good. It's a 720p HD screen, and considering the price to performance ratio, the Moto G is a very good phone. The only con is the camera is just okay-ish on this Moto G. So these are my top 5 choices of Android smartphones for 2013. Now coming to 2 other phones also that I liked. Those were the Xperia Ultra. If you like very large screen size phones, the Xperia Ultra sports a 6.4-inch screen, and the performance of that phone also was brilliant. The only con with Sony Xperia phones is the screen viewing angles. They are not as great as compared to some other phones. And the next phone, again, I have a consideration, was the Xperia Z1. That phone also performed brilliantly. It has that 20-megapixel camera. So these were my choices for the Android smartphones for 2013. I have links for all these phones in the show notes. I have done review for most of these phones, so you can find more info regarding them. The links for them will be in the show notes. I hope that you found this video interesting. Thank you. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.